Starting to the top left of the map of Belgium Vestige in our first game here at the GSTL, we have the MVP player. It is the Commander.
MVP Keen.
Commander often leading the charge for his team. It's his best position at 7 and 4 currently.
He's up against the Protoss players, strong in Wings of Liberty, not so much in Heart of the Swarm yet. At the bottom right for the Prime team.
CreatorPrime.
Got stomped in his Codes group, played in the up and downs, got stomped there as well. Finds himself on the brink of falling out of the GSL completely.
Yeah, if you look at Creator and his win ratio in Heart of the Swarm in offline matches against Terra, and you immediately... Oh.
She's here because she loves a nerd and StarCraft.
And she's pulling a Korean and hides behind the sign. Oh, there we go.
Oh,
that was cute.
That was cute. I like that.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Yeah, but talking about Creator and his win ratio here, he has only 25% win ratio in best of threes against Terrans this in the Heart of the Swarm, and that is horrible.
That's abhorrent. You never want to hear that as a programmer, that you have below 30%.
Exactly. That's basically like, do I really want to put in those 20 minutes, or do I just say, okay, here's your free win? He needs to change something. This is one of the matchups that he has to practice a lot. He was successful against Gumiho in his last match in the up and downs. Let's not forget about that. But then if you go further down his match history, you see losses against Supernova, Ryang, Jakchi, against Bomber twice in the Codes season. He has to change a lot here.
And he looks like to be changing it. He's hiding a pylon here. He may do an aggressive Oracle build. We've seen that quite a bit.
Yeah.
And he's doing it so early here.
But we have the SCV scout for Keen, and the problem that Creator really has is that Keen is great in this matchup in Heart of the Swarm. He has an 80% win ratio in best of threes against Protoss players. He is 8 and 2, one against opponents like Avenge, Yonghwa, and against both of them actually a couple of times. We had this crazy tight situation in the up and down, but he also took down even more players in the GSTL with Tacita, Madball, and even Squirtle in Codes. So Keen already knows that something is off, and he sees what's happening.
He sees everything, and you know, this is a great idea by Creator, because changing up your style when you're so predictable is good, but now he's in trouble. He needs to start a second pylon. He sends the Probo, sneaks it around, starts the second pylon. He will be able to get an Oracle out here, but it's already been scouted, so it's now up to Keen to just make sure he doesn't make any mistakes in defending here.
And you can see that Keen is going right into his second command center. He is completely well aware of what's going on, and he's very confident in his abilities to stop this. So what is Creator now going to do? His strategy has been revealed. He's chrono boosting the Oracle, nonetheless, wants to do damage, but we have a bunker being built in the mineral line.
Bunker's so smart.
That's like the perfect defense.
Exactly. You don't even want an eBay for turrets, because that's not going to be as reliable as a bunker. And Reaper gets chased away, he saves the pylon, but this build is likely to do very little, especially with the bunker completing here. You will have 4 Marines to put inside of it.
That timing. I mean, the timing alone, the bunker is just finishing, the Oracle is out, and if he could have killed the SCV, maybe, but right now, what can he do? He can pick up an SCV, the one that's building the command center. Actually a bit surprised that he didn't do that just yet. Here we go.
He could try to kill the reactor, but I don't think he's going to go for it. He doesn't have very much time on this Oracle. He will get some gas workers here. You can always just fall back to that bunker, but the Stalker's in the main now too.
Yeah, Stalker's in the main, and that changes things quite a bit. He can, with good micro, he can do a lot here.
And the second Oracle's about to pop out too, don't forget. You know, he's not doing a ton here, but he has turned a bad situation after being scouted into a decent one. Starts his Nexus back at home currently.
Let's see what he can do. Kill some more units here. He's actually doing a fair amount of damage here so far.
Oh, losing the Oracle though, definitely not okay. That's way too sloppy.
Yeah, that should not have happened. Losing the Oracle is definitely going to be an issue for him. The Stalker also under a lot of pressure. We have a second Oracle in the game. The command center is done, upgrading now into the orbital command, whereas Creator is of course following this up. The idea here being doing damage in the early game and then following it up with an expansion. But to pull that off, he really has to still try to harass his opponent a little bit and force a reaction.
Yeah, he can't just leave it at that. Right now the game is fairly even because he did do a decent amount of damage and his transition is good, but you know, the problem for Keen is that he didn't start Stim right away. His tech lab was a little bit late, so for him he's not going to have any tech advantages, so it's a relatively even game right now.
Very early concussive shell coming out here for Keen actually. And with the concussive shell in the second barracks, he seems to be eager to go for some aggression. And as soon as the first Marauder is out and the upgrade is done, those Stalkers live a very dangerous life here.
Yeah. I think he's going to have to back away with the Stalker now. May keep the Oracle here. Doesn't want to start any Void Rays, just keeping the Oracle around for backstabs, essentially.
We have now the Engineering Bay and also the Forge coming. Both players deciding to spend their gas now into upgrades. And we have Keen even going more safe now since he has the Engineering Bay going straight into additional turrets now in the mineral line after he, of course, salvaged the bunker. So now he's completely safe against additional oracles coming in.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what he needs to do. It's always like a really bad feeling when you have no anti-air defense in your mineral line and then suddenly you're moving out, the Oracle moves in. And in this case, Creator is actually a little bit lucky keeping us alive here.
Yeah, I was wondering if he was going to drop the Revelation on those units. Looks like he decides not to. Going to just choose to keep his pylons alive instead. This is not a cost-efficient or an energy-efficient way to deal with a Reaper. Yeah, I think that was a bit of a mistake.
And now 2 pylons will go down in the Stargate, so that's quite unfortunate for Creator, who's already supply blocked, and he will even be further supply blocked once the second pylon goes down.
Yeah, currently still in the red.
Yeah, and he's only building 1 pylon.
Yeah, doing a little bit of damage here, but the attack is still coming.
Yeah, he needs to get rid of this resource. He needs to build a couple of units, and 1 pylon is not going to help him too much. The Reaper here getting a couple of good shots off and actually taking down even more Harvesters. Creator for a sec not paying attention.
Yeah, total flop here on the brain. He actually can escape.
Yeah. The scouting information alone, you know, that's so massive for the Terran play here. Reaper goes down in the end, but he died for a good cause. He revealed the robotics bay here, and at this point, Keen is well aware of what's happening and can now just safely retreat. He already has a command center down at the mineral line so that he can mine now from 2 bases.
Right, and you know, that's a very good point. Seeing the bay means he needs to retreat because the first Colossus will be out after the Mothership Core buys time with that first photon overcharge. The Colossus will be out. He can't do damage here. He's probably going to add a 3rd base soon. He's already getting his armory and a 2nd engineering base, so he's going to really hit those upgrades hard.
Yeah. You know what indicates more to me that Creator changed a little bit than anything else? I cannot remember him losing an observer yet.
Yeah, that's really weird. He's definitely changing his style.
Yeah. He's not sacrificing observers anymore, and he has them still on the map, and actually now he has them on hold position.
Yes.
He doesn't move them. So,
oh no.
Okay, he makes me look silly.
Tragedy
Here we go.
strikes.
No.
It'll be dead soon, don't worry. I'm keeping an eye on it.
I don't know. Actually, like right now, he's doing a pretty good job with positioning the observers. And this was one of the biggest problems that he always had. Having the observers out, sometimes 4 or 5 at a time, and then all of them are getting sniped because he moves them too much. So now he has at least the information that he needs. The scouting is the most important part. And that was something in the past where he had a huge problem because they were always picked off.
Currently, a Zealot will not only scout, but will also deny the 3rd base of Keen up at the top right. The attack is still good.
These run-bys, especially on Belgian Vestige, are always a nuisance to a Terran player. We've seen this in so many matches. Quite a lot of Terrans have been starting to build a bunker at the mineral line because they want to deal with this a little bit better. But now we have this move out here by Keen, and we need a photon overcharge on the on the Nexus. Maybe not. With 2 Colossi, he has enough, but there it is.
Just trying to be safe here. He doesn't have a 3rd base going down, which is I think what Keen expected. He saw no 3rd, and he just poked in, tested the waters. A big stim used there. He doesn't have very many medevacs, and he has to make Vikings right now because of those Colossi.
And that's always an issue that you, of course, have. If your Protoss player goes into the Colossi, he also wants to force you to get Vikings, and that keeps your medevac count low, and the more you stim, the worse for you, especially since we now have not only have Marine Marauder, but also the Hellbats coming into play. They're great to tank the damage at the front, especially when they're healed by medevacs, and of course also very effective against those Zealots.
Yeah, and remember during that attack, he didn't have combat shields just ready at all, so his hit points very, very low against the Colossi. Now it's finishing up, and he's going to actually take a decent upgrade position against a Protoss, so that's good for him as well.
Definitely true. He has the double engineering bay already and goes for the double upgrades, whereas we just now see the 2nd Forge for Creator. But he makes the transition happening now into the Templar Archive, so we will see him with Archons and with Storm. That can help him quite a lot here. It all comes down to how much really Keen is now willing to sacrifice to go into this Viking transition. He's starting to build medivacs again. Has only 2 Vikings, and you know, with 2 Colossi, that's actually like really decent. He can do a lot of damage with that.
Yeah, you're right.
We even have him with range, so this is really interesting now. He's going into a very fast transition into the Storm, but with 2 Colossi, you definitely need a few more Vikings, and Keen at this point doesn't have them.
Yeah, and he's going to try to do some damage here at the 3rd base, but I feel like Creator just has too much with the lack of Vikings. And Creator has 4 observers still alive on the map. So he can spot all move-outs. There's one that spots the move-outs towards his third. There's one that spots move-outs from the natural. There's one on the right side that spots drops. So he's totally map aware right now. He's down in supply, but he is chrono boosting his upgrades to catch up. And the Storm and the Colossi, he doesn't have Ghost, and his Viking count is low.
Yeah, here we have an attempted Hellbat drop. Ooh, that is getting so close, and the Hellbats don't do any damage at all here.
But over here at the natural, he's doing a little bit. Photon Overcharge is baited. He's going to go right to the third.
Good reaction though, not losing too much here, and the Medivac already severely damaged. In total, only 8 Harvesters killed, but that includes the ones that he took down earlier with the Reaper.
Yes. And this push out is so smart by Keen. He's trying to catch Creator off guard, but Creator will not be caught off guard.
Well, he lost the Colossus. He didn't really pay attention to that one unit too much, and losing a Colossus at this point in the game is of course always very annoying. But he didn't suffer more damage. I feel it was worth it for Keen, but it could have been worse if those units weren't in position.
Exactly.
So it's like, yeah, not really okay, but it could have been worse.
Right, it was a decent split on the units, just the Colossi control was the poor thing there. And this Medivac always ready to threaten Creator once more whenever he's not looking.
We saw on screen now a few of these Zealots at the bottom left of the base. I feel that he maybe have forgotten them there. Let's see if he uses them later on. 4 observers still giving a lot of vision here. I really like it. Creator much more aware of what's going on than in the past. Here we go. Vikings with a really good position against the last surviving Colossus.
And a great split against the Storm. The Oracle goes down as well. He needs to pull those Vikings back. He's losing them for nothing here.
Losing the Vikings definitely a big issue here, but he needs more Storm, and the first one was not good enough. Where are those High Templars? I don't think he has them. And those Hellbats in the mineral line, they are taking everything down.
One more Storm goes down, but he doesn't have anything left. The Archon needs to close the distance. Zealot's running in here.
He needs Storm at this point. He needs something that does area effect damage. He says decent micro, but he needs something more. It looks though that he's able to force that back.
He forces it back, but you know this was a great trade for Keen.
Yeah.
He keeps his Medivacs alive. He's eliminated a lot of those high-tech units, killing the Templar, forcing them into Archons, killing those Colossi. And he's not going to stop.
Keen is not done. He's not done by a long shot. We have a Colossi back in the game, and now a forward blink with the Stalkers. But the one Colossus is actually attacking a single Hellbat instead of focusing down the Marines
He
on the
needs
left
to be,
side.
yeah, he needs to be targeting that Colossus. Why one Colossus fight a Hellbat? That's never what you want. But he still pushes this back. He's closing the gap in supply.
Yeah, he's pushing it back, but it could have been so much more cost-effective than it already was. So Creator doing a good job, but just these very important key units in the game not being controlled properly.
Yeah. Oh, this is such a tense moment right now for Creator. He's lost a lot of Harvesters, but he's still maintained pro production until 24 Harvesters killed by Keen versus just 6 by Creator.
Those Hellbats did a lot of damage, and that was something that Keen didn't account for. The Observer in the perfect position to see that load up into the Medivacs. He should be able to get there in time. I don't think he has the High Templars for the feedback, but
No,
they would be worth their weight in gold right now.
And he's actually going to have to retreat here. He already used the boost, and he knows that sticking around there is not a good idea.
Big issue is the upgrades that we have for Keen. 3-3 already on the production tab, and this is going to become a huge problem if Creator doesn't start his own set of upgrades. And it's a little bit weird if you think about it. Creator has been known as the player who always hits his upgrades like perfectly and starts to hit timings as soon as he has the lead.
Yeah, this pressure that Keen is putting on him is starting to take its toll.
It allows Keen to get a 4th base now.
Yes, and with all the presence on the map for Keen, it's really hard for Creator to do run-bys. He doesn't even have any pylons on the map they can use for that.
I love how Creator is able to keep his observers alive. It's like he was a former Warcraft 3 undead who had shades, they didn't cause that blur, and then someone finally told him, listen, if you move observers, your opponent can actually see that. He's like, oh, that's how it is. And now he changed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're laughing. That was a huge problem for me at the beginning. My shades never caused the blur.
Oh man, Creator here struggling to advance against this army, but now he's got the flank and he's going to go for the fight.
He's going in, and once again the Colossus focusing down a single Hellbat. The rest of the units moving in, and the Keen with a little bit of a problem. He actually a huge problem against the army of his opponent.
The second wave comes in though, and he has the better attack upgrade. It eats a Storm, needs to pull back. He's going to actually lose all of his ground here.
The Colossus finally goes down, but a lot of the units of Keen have already been taken out. The Storms this time much better for Creator. And the Prime players just pushing through here, hitting one production cycle after another, warping in those units and moving right down the alley to take down Keen.
Great control in that battle by Creator with an excellent flank. Keen about to have +3 armor, but I have to say, I feel he should have gotten out of there a long time ago. He's lost way too much here, and the momentum definitely in Creator's favor right now. No forward pylon again.
Creator is a player with such a horrible win ratio against Terran, but this is not visible in this game at all. He was able to chase down the most important units of Keen. He took down a lot of those Medivacs, so now, once again, Keen has to just invest a lot of gas. Took down Medivacs, he took down Marauders, Vikings, everything that costs a lot of gas has been taken out by Creator, and he goes once again into High Templars, into Colossi, and Keen has only one starport.
Yeah, right now...
Oh,
Creator,
sorry, my bad, he has two.
Creator is sending his observer over to the right side. He will finally see that base over there, and now he has to realize, okay, this is a problem. Keen has had that base for a while now, he's mining from it, and I have to get over there and do something about it, or else he is just going to have the better economy and we'll catch up here.
Keen with a lot more mineral income, of course, thanks to the mules. And we have now Ghosts also coming into the game, and for him that's going to be really important for Creator to deal with. And keep in mind, Creator did not start 3-3, he is still a +2/+2 against an opponent that has a significant upgrade lead.
More and more Ghosts coming out here, and they are going to be a big problem. That's what Keen is sinking his resources into right now. He's going up to, in total now, 5 Ghosts. And with good EMPs, you can really change a battle, especially since Creator is so Archon heavy. He has 4 Archons in the mix right now, and only 2 Templar.
Yeah, only 2 Templar at this point, so feedback's going to be an issue. A massive drop in the main base, and this time Creator did not see it coming. Yeah. He immediately drops the Photon Overcharge, but the Nexus doesn't stand a chance.
And this is going to just really affect his gas income. With no Nexus here, he loses both of the assimilators. And Keen should be able to get most of his units out here as long as he micros correctly. He's even going to take a few of the Zealots with him.
Yeah. Now we once again have a lead in supply for Keen, but Creator has a decent bank here, especially in minerals that he can use. He has the 4th base to the left side of the map. The main Nexus, not as important as you might think. Most of the mineral patches are already gone. It's kind of course, become an issue if you want to use the Mothership Core later for a recall if you have to defend. But at this point, there is no mining in the main base anyway, so it could have been a lot worse. Keen did not target down any of those important key structures, so the tech is still intact.
Yeah, that's true. And he's making a 3rd forge right now. I think he thought he lost his 2nd one, which is not the case. I love that choice, though, to attack there because he killed that very specific observer that was at the right side. He knew, oh, if there's an observer here, you probably don't have another one. I'm going to take a chance, go for this drop. Really smart play by Keen. And now he's bullying Creator in the middle of the map while still attacking a natural. Might get this Temple Archives if he targets it. He's targeting it down.
Yeah, and he will most likely kill it. I don't see that survive at all.
Yeah, it's gonna die.
And we have another force now to the top left of the map trying to get an angle here. But we have Creator also moving in. The EMPs are moving, and we have immediately the Storm to cover the retreat of the Protoss player.
Cloak is active here, no observers in sight, and he's EMPing everything he can get his hands on.
He's trying to take down all of those Vikings, and the Archon got a couple of good shots, but now it's suddenly Keen who's really rolling his opponent. He has a 40 supply lead, Wolf.
40 supply lead, and good EMPs again. Also, the Concave at the top of the ramp. Creator cannot engage this.
There are no storms, and he needs them. He needs storms to pull this off, but he doesn't have them. He's warping in additional reinforcement, but it seems already too late. We have Keen with an 80 supply advantage, and he's using it.
GG. Keen takes the lead here in a very close game, very intense.